Yes, you are most welcome, my viewers. I'm going to take you through another tutorial. Before we go to our tutorial or the introduction to the topic we are going to handle, I am Charles Mudawe again. I want to thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel and always keeping updated. Please click even the notification button so that you don't miss any video that comes out. Now, today I'm going to talk about database. I'm going to talk about database, database management system, whereby you need to know a few things as a manager, as a father, as a student who is undertaking this course of ICT, because these are numbers that you're supposed to do. So my introduction is very brief and simple, where we need to talk about database management system. Now, what is data? Before we look at the two, because we are seeing database, we need to know what data is. Now, data is made up of text, numbers, symbols, images, and in some cases sounds, which can actually be processed into information. Another person can say that data, these are raw facts. That is why you can see that this is text, numbers, symbols, images, or that can be processed into what? Information. However, even when you say that these are raw facts and you stop there, no one will penalize you. So now, what is information? When we talk about information, this refers to meaningful or summarized, organized, and processed data. I once again say that information refers to meaningful, summarized, organized, and processed data. Remember, the other ones are just raw facts. These ones have been processed. They are meaningful, they are organized, and therefore they hold meaning. In other words, information is the meaning given to data by the way in which it is interpreted. If you, for example, have a document and it has nothing to do with a name, it holds nothing even when there is something inside. But when it is given a name, that means it holds water, and that means it has meaning. So if it is empty and has no name, that means it is not information. Alright, so what is database then? Database is a collection of data organized in a way that allows access, retrieval, and use of data. Okay, so the moment it's collected, it is also organized, and at the same time, it can allow you later in the day to go and see the information, meaning that you can be able to input, you can edit, you can delete it, okay, but in future you can be able to access that what information. If it is a database, say for example phone book, you are able to check for someone's telephone contact, okay, and that is why sometimes when you forget to save a number in your phone book, but maybe that person could have called you some time back, you realize that you always say that it's a wrong number, even when it is not actually a wrong number, only that it has no name. So in computing, a database can be defined as a structured collection of related records or data. As I have already told you an example of a phone book, okay, there is a relationship, the name and the number, okay. The relationship is between, how can a contact be in your phone when it has no relationship with you? So that's why we are saying that a database can be defined as a structured collection of related records. When you look at another example of a dictionary, it is a collection of words that have meanings. Okay, they have collected all the words, and when you want to know anything, you go. The other example is the encyclopedia. You can opt to go and check for anything in the world, okay, in that. So I hope this one is taken, a collection of related records or data on a particular subject that is stored in a computer, so that a program can consult it to answer queries. Remember, among the objects that we have in database or MS.ACCESS is actually the queries. Very interesting, because the queries mean that you ask a question and you get the answer. Then another person can say that an organized collection of records presented in a standardized format, searched for or searched by the computers. Alright, so we need to know also the types of databases. Databases come in two styles or types. We have the manual and the electronic. In this case, we want to see this first example of the flat file database, and then the relational database. The flat file, in brackets I've said FFD, these are basically used for simple lists and may have duplications of data, much like a simple record card system. It is not any different from the manual files. That's why in the beginning here I say that database comes in two styles, the manual and the electronic. So this flat one is more of a manual file or manual database, and then we have the relational database, RDS. This is the most used type of database in the microcomputers. Now, in this type of related data, items are stored together in structures called relations or tables. So here that means we are going to see that there is work arranged in tables, and it also holds meaning. This type allows the creation of relationships between tables such that records in one table relates to the other in another table. Okay, now following the previous example where I say that electronic and then the paper based, electronic is the one we are calling the computer based, okay, or the electronic, and then the paper based is the manual. Okay, remember I gave you an example of a phone book, an example of a dictionary, an example of an encyclopedia, and many more that we are going to look at. Now, electronic databases allow the user to carry out the same tasks as paper-based stroke the manual databases, but with the following advantages. Okay, now here that means I am giving you advantages of the electronic databases. One, increase the speed. What do we mean by increase the speed? Increase the speed in terms of searching for data. Anything that you want to search for, you will get it easily. It is a matter of a click and you'll be ready to go. Easy to use. It doesn't require a lot of explanation or a lot of expertise. Stores very large amounts of data. Unlike the manual, it does not store a lot of data. Also, it allows easy inputting and editing of data. Of course, since we are dealing with an electronic database, we have the automatic updating. Work is being, it is like it's automated. It keeps updating the work, unlike in the manual database. So there is also recalculating of data. Okay, so here what do we mean by recalculating? The moment you have given it a particular formula or a particular function, it will follow that function. Anything that is being entered will be able to be calculated immediately. Okay, unlike the manual database whereby you will need to have look for a calculator and do the calculation, get confused along the way, and boom, wrong answers. Now, still on the electronic databases, it allows easy searching and selection of data altogether. So here, what we mean by this is a searching. You search, and this is in file management. The moment you have not organized your files properly, you will even fail to use or operate or find anything in your phone, just because you have not taken time to organize your information in there. The other advantage is format. Arrange and present information in the way that you want it. So you organize it according to you, the user, and it gives you that option to keep it also the way you feel. Okay. Then also sharing of information. Sharing of information becomes very easy, especially with other software applications. Okay. If, for example, on networks, electronic databases allow you to share one set of information amongst very many people in a very short period of time. Therefore, this reduces duplication. Okay? When we say that reduction of duplication, okay, prevents the problem of keeping several copies of the same database up to date. Okay? So, according to this information, I hope you are following that there is need to have an electronic database system in either an organization, in a school, even in a family. Okay? Even in a shop, you need an electronic database system in order to have proper management of data. Let's look at the limitations. When you look at the limitations of database, one, unnecessary duplication of data. Okay, boredom, time wasting, especially when searching for a particular item, misleading reports due to poor data entries, poor update of records, and so on. What we mean by misleading reports due to poor data entries? What you enter into a database depends entirely on you, the individual who is entering the data. So the moment you put data that is wrong, don't expect to get right results. What you enter is what you get. Okay? When we talk about boredom, you look for something and look for it and get tired. Why? Because you are not able, maybe the document you're looking for was not numbered or named. So the moment it is not numbered or named, don't expect to find something with a matter of a button click. You will spend a lot of time looking for that document. Now, we need to understand, that was just a brief introduction. What is a database management system? DBMS. Okay, this is a collection of software, okay, which is entirely responsible for organizing the information in a database. That may contain routines for data input, verification, storage, and retrieval. So this is a software, and which we have very many software systems in place for the database management systems, and therefore you realize that at the end of it all, you actually also qualify to have one in an institution that is supposed to collect or organize your information. Therefore, having a database in school, in an organization, a company, and so on. It is also a set of computer programs that provides formal user interface to a database while managing the internal database structures on behalf of the users. So as I say that this is a software, it's actually an interface whereby you store your information. When you look at a set, it has instruments, and those instruments, after use, always you take them back into that mathematical set. Why do you do that? It is for purposes of storage or safety, because when you store it in a proper place, what happens? Okay, you will have access to all the instruments even the next day. Okay, so a DBMS allows the user to create access and manage the data. You are able to enter, you are able to create, you are able to delete, you are able to update all your information with ease. Okay, so the moment we have all that in place, that means the database is becoming complete. Now, a DBMS can as well be defined as a software that is used to create, maintain, and provide controlled access. If we have a DBMS software or application in place in a school setting, it is very easy for a school to manage information of students. Say, for example, if we needed to know the population in school. Secondly, taking roll calls. Okay, if we wanted to capture the number of students who are upper school, that is for school setup, whereby you have the lower school and upper school. A lower school can have the dormitories, and the upper school can have the offices and classrooms. So that means as a school, you are having a software in place that is helping you to maintain and at the same time controlling access to information. Now, I said we are going to look at the examples of the DBMS database management softwares. Okay, these ones are very many, and please don't be limited to only the ones that are here. Okay, we have Oracle, we have DBS, Fox Pro, Paradox, Foxbase, File Page Maker, we have Lotus Approach. Now this last one, Microsoft Access, it is the one that is for secondary curricula, and this is the one we are going to base on while handling database database practicals and the theory part of it. We are not going to look at these others. When you continue with your further education, you will always find and interact with all these other applications and softwares. So when you find them, don't say the teacher limited us to only MS.ACCESS, but I'll limit you to this one just because it is the one that is examinable or examined at your level. Okay, so we have an example here of a database management system. So a database consists of a collection of tables organized in form of rows and columns. A row is a record, and I repeat, a row is a record in database, while a column is a field, and I repeat, a column is a field. So when you look here, we can say that we have this field This field is the one that is having, okay, this is a 1, 2, 3, these are columns now, okay. So these columns are also, we can see under name we have names, under age we have outgain. So when we talk about rows, they are all holding records. So this is a record of a Tessa boy. This is also a record of Ngobi JP. Because we said a row is a record and a column is a field. So when we put a column up here, age, it is a field for you to enter that information. Altogether, I hope I have made meaning while you explaining a row and a column. And as I said once again, a row is a record in database, while a column is a field. Let's look at some of the functions of a database management system. I am not limiting you to the ones that I'm showing you here. There are various functions, but the ones that I'm looking at are the most important ones, which you must know as a learner of database. One, it allows you, the user, to add and delete records, which is very important in an electronic database system. When you are using a manual system or database, it is very difficult for you to delete anything or even to update. It is actually very difficult. Now, in an electronic database management system, it allows the automatic updating and modification of existing records. Since work is actually organized, okay, it is organized for easy access, retrieval, and then manipulation of records. By the way, this one also acts as an interface between the database and the application. Okay, so since it is an interface, you are in position to check, update, create, delete anything or any record of your choice. It ensures security for data. This is why I am requesting that if you are there and you don't have any database management system, this is the time you need to understand that one of the functions of such a system in a school, in an organization, is security. And the moment we have security for our data, that means everything is safeguarded, okay, especially against the unauthorized people. So that means it safeguards authorized access and corruption. There is unauthorized and then authorized. So it creates at least those gates. If it is a gate, how do you enter a gate? You ask for permission. That means everybody gets to know who is entering into that gate. Now, by so doing, even when I'm giving an example at the gate, it keeps statistics of data. So if we are using the database at the gate, when you enter into a school setting and you reach there is a gate, the record is taken. Statistics are there. We can ask how many people have entered school today. Those are the statistics we are talking about in database. I hope that one has been also understood. This will be our last when we are looking at components or features of database. As I said in the beginning, that some of the components that are major are here. So database is composed of many components, but the major ones are the tables, forms, queries, reports, pages, modules, and macros. Okay, all these ones we are going to do them practically. okay, how to perform a query, how to create a form, okay, how to make a report, so on and so forth. So just to explain a few things about these components, because being the last thing on our agenda today, a table is a collection of records. So the moment you have a table, just know in that table, records are going to be stored in that place. So a collection of records that contain the same fields. Okay, a database may contain one or more tables. Now you remember when we talked about the relational and the flat file. Okay, then a form, I said we are going to look at among the components, we are going to look at forms and how to create them. Forms are used to add, modify, or even view the data in underlying data tables. Okay, then a query, this is the way of asking questions about the data in your data according to certain criteria. That is why I said that if we are using a manual system at the gate, I am able, if I am the head teacher, to go and ask the people or the personnel at the gate how many people have entered into the school, and they are able to give me that the statistics or the analysis of people who have actually entered into the school. At the same time, they should be able to describe, if it is a manual system, that means it's going to give them a lot of hard time. If it is at the natures of absentee supervisors or workers, they maybe the person passed and he was not there, but this automatic or electronic database still will capture the information whether he's there or absent, meaning that this is the system that we need. Okay, a page, macros, modules. So in a page, this allows data to be saved in a web format. Okay, web format, what do I mean? Publishing to the web when it is ready to be published. Then macros, these are automated procedures of action in a computer. Modules, I say these ones, they are just like the macros. Modules enable one to automate work processes. These provide more control, especially on the commanding part of it. Okay, as I said, we are going to end here for today. I want to thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I want to thank you for sparing time to understand database. Please share the link, share, and keep the notification bell on so that you receive all the videos that may come in future. I want to thank you, and may God bless you so much.